As we turn the page from the 19th to the 20th century, we continue our exploration of Frank Lloyd Wright's architectural journey. In this chapter, we delve into the projects and designs from 1900 onwards, a period where Wright's style evolved and his fame began to solidify. From groundbreaking residential projects to innovative public buildings, this era marks some of his most influential works that have left a lasting imprint on modern architecture. Join us as we explore the development of Wright's iconic prairie style and other seminal creations that defined his career. Let's discover the legacy and impact of Wright's designs in the new century. Let's start in 1901. A Home in a Prairie Town, Ladies' Home Journal. This design epitomizes Frank Lloyd Wright's mature prairie house style, characterized by its strong grounding and seamless integration with the landscape. Constructed with stucco and wood trim, the house features low-pitched roofs that extend over wraparound corner windows on the upper floor, enhancing the design's openness and connection with the environment. The layout, similar to the Hickok's house, offers an uninterrupted flow from the library to the living room to the dining room, with the living room opening onto an outdoor terrace. The second floor typically houses 6 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, though an alternative design suggests replacing 2 bedrooms with a balcony overlooking the living room. Wright's detailed description for the project emphasizes the exterior's harmony with the prairie landscape, recommending durable and economical materials like cement on metal lath for the exterior and sand-finished plaster with Georgia pine trim for the interiors. This design beautifully marries functionality with aesthetic appeal, embodying Wright's vision of organic architecture. This was the advertising did in Ladies' Journal. A small house with lots of room in it, Ladies' Home Journal. Lexington Terraces, apartment building for Edward C. Waller and Oscar Friedman, Chicago, Illinois. This apartment complex design showcases 2 sets of working drawings, one from 1901 and another from 1909, both for essentially the same architectural plan but with different levels of detail and some modifications. The design features 2 nearly identical buildings separated by an open courtyard, aimed at housing lower-income families. The apartments are compact, with variations including 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom layouts, each equipped with a living room, kitchen, and bathroom. In the initial 1901 design, each building's main entrance was envisioned with a grand arch flanked by imposing towers. However, by 1909, this design was simplified to a more modest square entry. Both designs focus on maximizing light and air to the interiors, with a generous garden court at the center of each building and an open well running down the center to enhance the interior room's ventilation and natural illumination. Elevations from the plans indicate that some parts of the building are 3 stories high while others are only 2. However, the 1909 aerial perspective consistently shows both buildings as 3 stories. The apartments located at the outer corners of the buildings are slightly larger, featuring a living room with a fireplace, a separate dining area, kitchen, 2 bedrooms, and a bathroom. Notably, in the 1909 version, a 3rd story is added only at the corners, specifically to accommodate these more spacious corner apartments. This evolution in design reflects adjustments to the original plans to perhaps address practical considerations or changes in architectural preferences over the intervening years. Monolithic concrete bank. Frank Lloyd Wright's architectural philosophy for designing banks was to embody the concept of a secure strongbox, ensuring a structure that inspires confidence for storing valuables. In his approach, while maintaining a formal design, he creatively mitigated the starkness of the building by introducing a gently sloping front wall that recedes behind columns and merges into a decorative frieze. This modification adds visual interest and softens the overall appearance. In his writings, Wright detailed the materials used. The structure is primarily built of brick, with terracotta used for ornamental details, except for bronze-cast windowsills and caps finished in antique verdigris. The floors in the public areas are laid with unglazed ceramic mosaics. A key architectural feature in Wright's design is the use of structural piers that carry ceiling beams over long spans, which also serve as the primary decorative element, enhancing the facades. This integration showcases Wright's skill in merging structural functionality with aesthetic design to create a cohesive and secure bank building. Henry Wallace House, Riverside, Illinois. For this house, only two sketch plans are available, one labeled Scheme 1 and the other Scheme 1A. The first plan, Scheme 1, features a simple cruciform layout, where the dining room is positioned slightly off the main axis of the living room, creating a distinct yet interconnected spatial arrangement. On the other hand, Scheme 1A presents an L-shaped plan. In this design, the living and dining rooms are located in the longer wing of the L, offering a more extended linear flow between these two primary living spaces. Each scheme provides a different approach to the organization and flow of the living areas, reflecting varied spatial dynamics and functionalities within the same house design. T. Wilder Seible Building, Elmhurst, Illinois. This architectural project provided a multifunctional solution for housing poultry, horses, and cows, integrating these facilities into an elongated structure with specialized projections for tools and carriages. Although two slightly different ground plans were developed, it's unknown which was actually built due to the building's demolition. Above the carriage room, the design included a residential apartment featuring a living dining area, kitchen alcove, 2 bedrooms, and a bathroom, with distinctive window mullions extending to the soffit for aesthetic appeal. The entire complex was neatly enclosed by a low wall, defining separate courtyards for the stables and poultry yard, effectively blending functionality with architectural elegance. 1902. Board and Batten House. For this project, the only existing artifact is a perspective drawing of a 2-story board and batten house. The drawing also includes a sketch plan at the lower part, but this plan is minimal and lacks sufficient detail to clearly outline the room layouts or the overall interior structure. Instead, the primary purpose of the sketch plan appears to be to support the creation of the perspective drawing above, providing a basic framework to help visualize the exterior of the building rather than offering a detailed architectural blueprint. This approach emphasizes the external appearance of the house without delving into the specifics of internal planning. Lake Delavan Clubhouse, Delavan, Wisconsin. The architectural drawings for a project identified as a clubhouse, Lake Delavan, Henry Wallace, consist of several untitled sketches presenting 4 different design proposals. One notable drawing, labeled and inscribed by Frank Lloyd Wright, features a unique asymmetrical structure perched on a bluff. This design includes 2 distinctively configured wings extending from a central section, with an off-center lower terrace. The lack of corresponding floor plans and formal titles across the drawings adds complexity to understanding the overall project, highlighting the challenges in deciphering Wright's intentions and the relationship between the various proposals. The Dial Offices, Remodeling, Chicago, Illinois. The Dial, a renowned literary magazine published in Chicago, came under the management of Francis Fisher Brown. Brown, an influential literary figure, commissioned none other than Frank Lloyd Wright to redesign his bookstore located in the iconic Fine Arts Building in Chicago. This collaboration is documented in a single surviving plan titled Plan the Dial Offices, Frank Lloyd Wright Architect. The orientation of this plan, similar to Wright's later work on Brown's bookstore, confirms that the Dials' offices were indeed housed within the same building. The Fine Arts Building served as a significant locale for Wright's endeavors. It was the home of his Chicago office from 1908 to 1911. During these years, Wright's architectural genius touched various parts of the building. Beyond transforming Brown's bookstore, he also designed spaces for the Thurber Art Galleries and the Mori Japanese print shop. Each of these projects contributed to the building's reputation as a center for cultural and artistic exchange, anchored by Wright's distinctive architectural style. This period marks a notable intersection of architecture and literature in Chicago, showcased through Wright's lasting contributions to the Fine Arts Building. Francis W. Little Summer House, Lake Minnetonka, Minnesota. The Little Summer House shares its architectural blueprint with the Charles Ross House, showcasing a practical yet elegant design that is well suited for both leisure and everyday living. On the ground floor, the layout includes a living room, dining room, kitchen, and servants' room, mirroring the efficient use of space seen in the Ross House. What sets the Little Summer House apart is the second floor, which accommodates 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, providing ample space for family and guests. A notable feature of this design is the small cellar located beneath the kitchen and servants' room, adding an extra layer of utility and storage space to the home. Enhancing the charm of the ground floor is a spacious veranda that wraps from the entrance steps around to the dining room. This veranda is partially roofed at the front of the living room, offering a perfect blend of sun and shade, making it an ideal spot for relaxation or entertaining guests outdoors. Just like the Ross House, the Little Summer House's design integrates functionality with the aesthetics of leisurely living, making it a quintessential example of a dual-purpose dwelling. Victor E. Metzger House, Sault Ste. Michigan. The Metzger House, designed by Frank Lloyd Wright in collaboration with Webster Tomlinson, paralleled the vertical architecture of the Fricka House, but was larger and included more luxurious amenities like a third-floor billiard room and a basement bowling alley. The house featured a cruciform layout with a central hall and fireplace, leading to a series of interconnected spaces including a den, loggia, and a spacious main area comprising the dining room, living room, and library. These rooms opened onto large covered verandas and terraces, enhancing the indoor-outdoor flow. Service areas were thoughtfully arranged with access to a service stairway leading to the bedroom level, where a balcony connected bedrooms that each featured outdoor access and unique amenities like individual sinks. The third floor, dedicated to leisure with a billiard room, emphasized the home's grandeur with strategic window placement and an outdoor balcony. Construction materials included stone for the lower walls and stucco for the upper levels, with detailed stonework and leaded glass windows accentuating architectural themes. Though published in 1910 in Wright's portfolio, the Metzger House remained a detailed plan showcasing Wright's ambition to integrate opulent living with functional design. If built, it would have been one of Wright's most imposing residences. John Mosher House, location unspecified. The Mosher scheme, documented through a single drawing, features 2 plans and a delicately rendered perspective, adding a layer of intrigue to this somewhat mysterious project. The design proposes a 2-story house utilizing board and batten wood siding that uniquely stops at the windowsills on the second floor, with stucco continuing up to the eaves. This material transition adds visual interest and texture to the building's facade. A pronounced horizontal character defines the architectural style, emphasized by several elongated elements. On the right side of the building, a long veranda extends, connecting seamlessly to the house's front entrance, enhancing the flow between indoor and outdoor spaces. On the left, A low garden wall stretches outward from the building, further accentuating the horizontal emphasis and integrating the landscape with the structure. This design choice not only reinforces the building's connection to its surroundings, but also maintains a cohesive aesthetic that blurs the lines between the built environment and the natural world. Edward C. Waller, Summer House, Charlevoix, Michigan. The design process for the Waller Summer House was marked by numerous changes and revisions, indicating a dynamic evolution of the architectural concept. Despite these variations, a consistent theme emerged across most sketches, characterized by a central long wing that houses the living room. This main section was flanked by large verandas extending outward on both sides, enhancing the structure's connection with its outdoor surroundings and providing ample space for relaxation and enjoyment of the natural environment. Additionally, the layout included two wings extending backward on either side of the central wing. This design not only balanced the structure's overall composition, but also allowed for additional private or functional spaces, seamlessly integrating with the main living area. The repeated motif of extended verandas and additional wings underscores a design intent focused on spaciousness and openness, ideal for a summer house setting where interaction with the outdoors is a key aspect of the living experience. Edward C. Waller, Summer House, Scheme 2, Charlevoix, Michigan. The refined working drawings for the summer house scheme show a design featuring a living room centrally located between two large covered porches, enhancing the home's connection with the outdoors. These porches are strategically accessible, one from the dining room and the other from a guest room on the first floor, supporting leisure and guest hospitality. Upstairs, a small sitting room with a fireplace and French windows leads to a balcony overlooking the living room, adding an elegant touch to the interior. This level accommodates 10 bedrooms, clearly designed for an extended family and their guests, making it ideal for summer gatherings. Additionally, a less detailed sketch provides an alternative, slightly smaller version of the house, suggesting adaptability in the design to meet varying needs. 1903. Artist's House. Location unspecified. The two similar plans reveal a design for a house that serves dual purposes as a studio and residence, which Frank Lloyd Wright himself labeled as Artist's Cottage 1906. This label, however, was added much later, around 1940, when Wright was preparing drawings for an exhibition at New York's Museum of Modern Art. One of the sketches includes a grand piano in the living room, hinting that the intended resident might have been a musician. The design is compact, featuring a single-level layout where the bedroom is cleverly separated from the living room by a folding screen, allowing for a flexible use of space. An interesting architectural feature is a fireplace that serves both the living room and dining room, enhancing the cottage's cozy feel. The studio space is conveniently located adjacent to the living room, ensuring seamless transitions between living and creative work areas. A somewhat damaged perspective drawing of the building, noted by architectural historian Henry Russell Hitchcock in about 1940 as a lake cottage, is actually mislabeled according to the plans. The configuration of the windows in this perspective aligns with the detailed plans rather than suggesting a lakeside setting. Moreover, a drawing Wright prepared in 1910 for the Wasmuth portfolio depicts a much more formal plan suitable for a suburban lot, indicating that the design may have evolved significantly from its initial conception as a more rustic artist's cottage to something more structured and formal, intended for a different setting. W. H. Freeman House, Hinsdale, Illinois. The Freeman House stands as an unusual project within Frank Lloyd Wright's early 20th century works for two main reasons. Firstly, its design, featuring a steeply pitched hip and gable roof, confined spaces, and double-hung windows, does not align with the open and integrated styles Wright was known for in 1903. Secondly, there is uncertainty about whether it was built exactly as planned, with suggestions that it may have involved remodeling an existing structure. The layout includes a square plan with essential living spaces on the first floor and a projecting covered veranda at the entrance. The upper levels contain 4 bedrooms and a bathroom on the second floor, plus 2 additional bedrooms in the attic, serviced by 2 staircases, one prominently at the front and a secondary service staircase at the rear. The basement is designed for utilities like heating and laundry. Abraham Lincoln Center for Jenkins Lloyd Jones, Chicago, Illinois. The Abraham Lincoln Center's architectural documentation presents a complex and somewhat unclear history. The complete set of working drawings, executed in ink on linen, lacks a title block to identify the architect but is signed Approved February 4/03 JLJ, referring to Jenkins Lloyd Jones. This contrasts with another set of blueprints for a similar building that clearly names Frank Lloyd Wright and Dwight Heald Perkins as architects, though none of these plans correspond to the final construction of the building. The elevation in the available set depicts a massive 4-story building devoid of Sullivan's architectural influence, marking a departure from earlier styles. Confusion arises as different sets of these working drawings show variations in the building's design, with one set depicting a 7-story structure and another showing 6 stories. In the plans approved by Reverend Lloyd Jones, the basement is designed to house a boiler room and a large space for manual training, alongside a janitor's room, a club kitchen, and toilets. The ground floor of this plan features the main entrance, locker rooms, a library, offices, club rooms, and a reading room. The 2 floors above are dedicated to the main auditorium floor and balcony, as well as rooms for Sunday school activities. The 5th floor includes a private apartment for Reverend Lloyd Jones with bedrooms, bathrooms, kitchen, dining room, and living room, though the majority of this floor remains unlabeled in the plans. The 6th floor's function is also not specified, leaving parts of the building's intended use unclear. At the end of the file, there are blueprints for a completely different design under the title Lincoln Center, Frank Lloyd Wright Architect, Dwight Heald Perkins Architect, with no date indicated. Charles E. Roberts Block Plan, Oak Park, Illinois. The Charles E. Roberts Block Plan refers to a significant architectural endeavor in Oak Park, Illinois. Charles E. Roberts, known for his patronage of Frank Lloyd Wright during the early stages of Wright's career, played a key role in the development of residential architecture in the area. The block plan likely involved a comprehensive design approach, potentially incorporating multiple residences or structures designed to form a cohesive architectural ensemble. Given the historical context and location in Oak Park, a suburb where Wright designed numerous homes and developed his distinct prairie school style, the Charles E. Roberts block plan would have been an important part of this architecturally rich community. Such a plan would typically emphasize harmonious design elements, integrated landscaping, and possibly communal spaces, reflecting both Wright's architectural philosophies and the aesthetic preferences of the era. Details on the specific features or houses included in the Charles E. Roberts block plan might not be widely documented, but the involvement of a key figure like Roberts and the location in Oak Park suggest a focus on innovative residential architecture with potentially groundbreaking design concepts for that time. Thank you for joining us as we explored the fascinating world of Frank Lloyd Wright's unrealized projects from 1901 to 1903. These designs, though never brought to life, provide a unique glimpse into the evolving genius of one of America's most renowned architects during a formative period of his career. Each sketch and plan tells a story of ambition, innovation, and the endless possibilities of architectural design, Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below with your thoughts or any questions you might have. We appreciate your interest and encourage you to continue exploring the remarkable legacy of Frank Lloyd Wright. Until next time, keep imagining the what could have been and discovering the beauty in the blueprints.